Today's video is going to be all about your landscape business in a recession and how it could affect you and what to do about it. But wait, turns out this could be an opportunity if we do have a recession. So stick with it, watch the whole course through. I think you'll be glad you did. Okay, so what happened? Russia invaded Ukraine, and we might have to suffer some of the consequences for it. So what's going to happen? There's no guarantee, but I believe it's going to make some changes within all of our landscape businesses. It's obvious that the price of gas is going to go up. It's obvious the price of energy is going to go up because they're a big supplier of those things. You dive into it a little bit further and you realize that they're also a big producer of fertilizer, and fertilizers are going to go up. Let's look past that. Past all the gas, the energy, the fertilizer, let's think about it on a more grand scale. So what this does is this whole war thing, this whole possibility of Russia disrupting everything will create something called uncertainty. When there's uncertainty, then the economy tends to dip down a little bit. We tend to enter a recession with uncertainty. Uncertainty means that people are much more hesitant to stop spending money as fast and as frivolous. Basically, when you have a lack of stability, you have a lack of spending. The two are pretty much correlated. Also, if you think about it, the price of just gas going up affects everything down the supply chain. So if gas goes up, everything goes up. Whether you believe in the Russian thing affecting us down here in the United States and the rest of the world or not, it doesn't matter because we've been in a really good economy for a long time. Things have just been going up and up and up. And usually there's some sort of a correction at some point. And I feel like we're around that point where we will likely hit a recession or a correction of some sort. Plus, most experts, especially a few that I trust dearly, they believe the same thing, so I'm going by what they say. Okay, so let's talk about what has happened. I have had a landscape business for over 18 years, and I've gone through 2 different recessions. Basically what happens is everything is good, you can throw prices out to everyone, and people say yes, 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 and then all of a sudden they say no. So in short, your sales and the ability of people to say yes so quickly, that will slow down, that will taper typically. That's what I've noticed in the past. Sometimes it can happen instantaneous, other times it can dwindle down slowly, and then all of a sudden you're looking around thinking, I don't have the sales, I don't have the income that I used to have. Not only do more customers end up saying no, you have more customers that tend to not call you back, more customers that end up finding someone who did it cheaper. And it also causes more people just to wait until they feel more security with their income and with the things around them. I made it out of the 2008 recession looking really good, and there's a few reasons that I directly correlate with that, so let's dive into that now. One of the large things that helped me was my bills were very low. I basically had no debts, I had paid off vehicles, and my cost of living is all I really needed to make to scoot through this economy. One of the things that helped me most was my relationships with customers, my relationships with home builders, my relationships with other contractors that were involved in other similar trades that feed mine, and my relationships with managers and owners of other properties. I kept in touch with them religiously, so they constantly were reminded of who I was, what I did, and I would help them out. They would always contact me for small things, and I would help them out. So when it came to them wanting to affect small businesses, wanting to support small businesses, I was first up in line. If you create good relationships with people, they're much more likely to support you and to figure out how to support you, even if they don't necessarily need the work you're offering. Another thing I did is I made sure that I was faster, stronger, and create a better service than any of the other landscapers in my city. Basically, I was hungrier than all of the other landscapers in my city. And a side note, when I was at an intersection before the 2008 one, you could see 3 to 4 landscapers at anywhere else in the intersection, each intersection I went to. They were everywhere. Another thing I did was add better service, but I also added better warranties and better callback timing too. I simply outperformed them however I could. I got creative, I wrote thank you notes, I did so many things that just went that little extra mile that other landscapers weren't doing. I also had a lot of clients who worked on base and worked through different jobs that thrived in an economy such as this. I also did a good job of finding clients who had jobs who succeeded during recessions, and those people still were willing to hire me plenty. What's nice is they also had friends in their workplace that they referred me to as well. Something that I feel is a big thing is I did more necessary work, more essential work than just pulling weeds or mowing lawns. A lot of times when money gets scarce, it means people can mow their own lawn, they can pull their own weeds, they can do things like that. But if you do other things that are necessary, it's a game changer. Some examples of necessary services would be pest control, weed spraying, cleaning, waste disposal, hauling, irrigation repairs, leak repairs, drainage issues, and even water savings overall, such as xeriscaping or rocking a yard. During this whole recession, I never labeled myself as too good to do the work, and I worked my ass off. I think what happens eventually through recessions is a lot of people end up running out of steam, and a lot of people end up running out of oomph and feel the laziness around them, and they go down to that level. One of the ways you succeed is to create a huge amount of vibration and keep at the top and keep pushing upward. In short, through a recession, you basically just have to outlast your competitors. It's pretty simple, right? Picture it as a marathon. You know you have X amount of miles to go, and you basically just have to hang a little above the crowd until the rest fall off, and then you're one of only a few options that people are likely to use. A lot of times with recessions, people just end up giving up, or they end up moving in with family, or a lot of things change. So if you can remain at the top, that's a game changer for your business. The beautiful part about a recession is then when it starts to sweep up, you're one of the only people in the crowd. You're one of the only choices, and you have a perfect opportunity to grow your business. A hidden fact is that when a recession hits, a lot of good people lose their jobs, and they come looking for businesses like yours. It's an ideal time to get the best employees and build your business from the bottom there. Some of the largest growth my business has incurred has been right after recessions. Thankfully, due to recessions. Okay, enough about me and how I got through a recession. Let's talk about what you can do now and what you should do now and what you shouldn't. First up, let's talk about what you should not do. There's only 2 things I recommend you not do. Thing number 1, do not watch the news. Try to spend less time on social media. Try to not get yourself involved in all that shit. Focus on yourself and the production that you can control. Focus on things you can control. There's only a select amount of things that funnel down to a category that are things you can control, and that's what I want you to focus on. Thing number 2, don't spend money on fancy shit. If you want to buy some fancy shit, just wait. Just wait till you feel things more secure. Simple as that. I'm basically saying don't spend unnecessary money. Okay, so let's focus on what you can do right now. First up, let's change our bids around. Let's make our bids have a shorter timeline where they're valid, because what can happen is, let's say you have a job that's 3 weeks long and you're driving across the city for 3 weeks. Let's say gas goes from $3.50 to $6. That sucks. Let's say your materials goes up overnight. Let's say something crazy changes with pricing somewhere, which it likely will at some point. So instead, put a little thing at the end of your contracts and have that say pricing valid for 7 days. Or you could say prices subject to change on material availability. That way you cover your ass if materials go up. We should also add that in our contract, so if things go up drastically, you could even put a percentage threshold that you're covered and the customer pays for extras there. The main thing, the number 1 thing I want you to focus on right now is to get business. Get as much business as you can physically get right now. Right now, the economy is hot, the economy is booming, the economy is a very service-based, appreciative economy. People right now are saying yes easier and spending more money than I've ever experienced in my entire 18-year career. So what I'm saying is right now you need to focus on getting as much business as physically possible. The goal is to get you to book your calendar out as much as you can. This adds security. From there, I want you to take non-refundable payments that are a small percentage of the job as a down payment to keep their schedule. This is so you can book people out in advance, and it helps give a nice cash base in your business so you can have security. You also have that amount of money underneath people so they hold their job in your schedule and they don't cancel on you, which is key in the future. Next up, I want you to get crystal clear on your income goals and focus on how to execute them. If you need help with this, contact me. I also want you to check in on all your past clients, even some of the ones you don't like. If you keep checking in and just saying, hey, how's your yard? How's everything? How's the dog? How's your family? They're going to remember you, and that next family gathering they have and something comes up, they're going to refer you. Or next time a sprinkler breaks, they're going to call you instead of just Googling the next person. Keep relationships, keep people current on your mind. Also, another thing I do that is really valuable is every single client, I look back at every single job and I think back to what every single client has ever mentioned to me as far as what they want to do in the future. If someone says they want to do something someday, make a list of it. So I have a list in my phone that's all customer names and lists of things that I could upsell them on later on that they said they weren't either able to do now or they kind of mentioned in passing, and it's things I can upsell on them later. That can come in really crucial when you hit a little lull in your business. Next up, put a little energy in getting some licensing and getting new trades going, new services going that other people likely aren't going to have. Some examples of this could be contractor licensing, spray licensing, pest control licensing, camera installation, irrigation licensing. Basically, think about the security of your business. Think about extending yourself 1 foot past every other person that is a competitor to you. What are some of the services that you could get, you could gain, you could learn that would set yourself apart from others? Do that. Sometimes it comes from the reverse form of a customer asking you, hey, do you do gutters? Do you do this? Do you do that? That's a good indication that you could lean that way and pivot your business. Another thing that I do in my business is all of my things in my business are paid off. I don't have one truck payment. I don't have a huge shop. I run really modest, really lean, and it allows me to scale up or scale down really fast with the demand or lack of demand in my business. So this brings me to the point, sell unnecessary shit. If you have that desk in your office and you don't need it, sell it. If you have that aerator you're not using, sell it. If you have something else you're not using, sell it. Look into your business and see if there's any way that you can change your monthly expenses. If you can lower something while maintaining the same rate of production, do it. I rely a lot on subs, and that way if I have a big increase in work, I can call more subs and increase with that. And if I don't have work, I just don't call my subs and my team still has the same hours. Next up, call some of the larger landscaping companies in your area, which I guarantee there are some, and ask them to get onto their bidding list, onto their referral list basically. Most larger companies get a lot of phone calls from people who want services they don't do, or want services that are too small for them to do. And they have a list, all their call ladies have a list that can show, they can say, oh, you want smaller, you want a yard that's less than 2,000 square feet? Sure, call Travis at this number, da 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 da. If you get on the larger company's list, that helps your security a ton. One of the next things I want you to do, and I think it's one of the best, is implement a referral wheel strategy system. It's on my website, it's another YouTube video I have for you, and it shows you the fastest way to get high paying income clients. It's basically getting other trades that are complementing of your business, like mini blinds, pest control, pool companies, cleaning companies, stucco places, things like that, roofers. All those people are people you should have a strategy with to focus business into your business. My video on that shows you exactly how, step by step. Basically, we don't know which way we're headed, but we do know that all we can do is kind of ride the wave. The goal of this is to remain steady enough so when you ride the wave that you outlast all the other companies, you outperform all the other companies, you stay a little bit better than them, you don't have as many expenses behind yourself, and you outperform them for long enough so they just disappear and fall off and do something else, or they get a job that's secure. And then you're left, by the time things start to upswing, you have a bigger base of cash or resources or customers or employees to where when that economy starts ramping up again, you are placed perfectly where you should be in your business. What to expect if we do enter a recession? If we enter a recession, I'll be honest, it's very tough. I've been there. Side effects can and definitely will, in some cases, include depression, crazy thoughts, anal leakage, heartache, lack of energy, lack of motivation, feelings of doubt, feelings of betrayal, lack of belief in yourself, and overall hard times and stressors you can't imagine. But the goal is to maintain a higher frequency and outwork people. Never stop. The only way you will fail during a recession is if you stop. I'll say that again. The only way you will fail during a recession is if you stop and if you give up. Keep going. I don't want you stressing over this because who knows? Maybe a recession won't happen. Maybe we'll continue course going upward. But if it does, I want you to be a little more prepared, and at least this video has some things that can help you. If this does happen, always keep in mind that this is a good thing. This is a natural process that weeds out the people who don't really want to be self-employed. And it takes a few years, but it rewards the people who do. Most businesses make the biggest increase in their business during a recession. This is a good thing. Keep your head high. Let's just ride that wave, push through. We'll get to the end of it. If it happens, we're fine. The simple fact that you're watching this video makes me understand how motivated you are, and that alone shows me you're going to outperform everyone else in your industry. So what am I saying? I'm saying don't watch the news, hustle your ass off, don't spend useless money. You got this.